The movie begins with drill instructor Fitch welcoming the new recruits to the USMC barracks, telling them that from this point on, it doesn't matter if you're black or white, everyone here is green. He turns to a recruit named Swafford and asks if his father ever served, to which the soldier replies,
"Sir, yes, sir! Outstanding!"
The instructor then asks if he has a girlfriend.
"Sir, yes, sir! Yes, again, Jody's banging her right now!"
Swafford begins to realize that enlisting in the Marine Corps might be a mistake. The recruits are sent to the Marine Corps base at Camp Pendleton, where the senior officer assigns Swafford to the 2nd Platoon, hoping he can help boost their performance. When Swafford enters the room, he sees several soldiers forcibly branding one of their fellow recruits. Unfortunately for him, as soon as they discover he is a newcomer to the group, he ends up becoming the next target for the branding.
Hey boys, fresh meat!
Although he tries to fight back, he is overpowered by the soldiers and they attack him with a red-hot branding iron, causing him to lose consciousness. When he regains consciousness, he notices there is no brand on his leg, and Troy tells him they only meant to scare him and had switched the branding iron.
You want a brand, you gotta earn it.
Still regretting his decision to enlist in the US Marine Corps, he fakes poisoning by taking laxatives, all while reflecting on his life. His father was always hard on him and never truly involved in his upbringing. His sister struggled with mental health issues, and his mother battled severe depression. The only positive aspect of his life is his girlfriend, Christina, who promises Swafford that she will wait for him no matter what and write to him every day. His reflections are interrupted by Staff Sergeant Sykes of the Marine Corps, who hears about the branding trick and offers him a chance to join a regiment of scout snipers. Swafford isn't too happy about the opportunity and tries to get out of it, so Sykes resorts to a trick. He asks if Swafford can play any musical instrument, to which Swafford replies yes, and Sykes suggests he attend the bugle tryouts tomorrow. Swafford arrives at the appointed time and reports for the bugle tryout, but it turns out to be a sniper class, and he ends up embarrassing himself.
Private Swafford here is going to play reveille for us.
Oh, I don't have a bugle. You better play it with your mouth. What?
I said play it with your goddamn mouth. I love that tone. Sounds good to me. My morale is lifted. Will you shut the f*** up? There is no bugle program. Who do you think you are, some kind of Kenny G or something?
No, Staff Sergeant.
Good.
Despite the public embarrassment, Swafford confidently announces that he wants to stay.
You still here?
Yes, Staff Sergeant.
Yes, what?
Yes, I am still here, Staff Sergeant.
Training soon begins, and within a few days, Swafford starts to feel like he's found his purpose. He begins to fantasize about the blood splatter left behind by his shots. One day, he witnesses a tragic event when one of the recruits loses his nerve during an exercise that requires the platoon to crawl under barbed wire while machine guns fire overhead. The panicked recruit stands up and takes a bullet to the head.
Cease fire! Cease fire! I told you to keep your head down. If you listen to me, you will
Still be alive right now, stupid!
God help.
Later on, Swafford completes his infantry sniper training alongside 7 other soldiers. Sykes assigns Swafford as the shooter, while Troy, clearly disappointed, is given the role of spotter. Troy casts an envious glance at Swafford, wishing he were the one assigned as the shooter. Sykes teaches them the sniper code and makes them repeat it with focus.
Without my rifle, I am nothing.
Shot.
Hit. Fire.
I was hooked.
Hit.
Around that time, Saddam Hussein invades Kuwait, and after watching the news and realizing the US is involved in the conflict, Troy eagerly says,
We're going to war.
That same day, the Marines watch a movie about the Vietnam War, and the soldiers are thrilled to see the military action on screen, expecting it to be a violent and bloody chaos. However, the session is abruptly interrupted as the announcer announces that the recruits must report to the company area. Realizing they're about to be deployed, all the Marines are thrilled to finally have the opportunity to put their skills to use. While on the plane, Swafford gets into a conversation with Kruger, and they both wonder how long they'll be stuck there.
Less, man. We'll be back so fast we'll still be shitting out those nuts.
Shortly after, the US starts deploying troops to Saudi Arabia for Operation Desert Shield. Lieutenant Colonel Kaczynski briefs the Marines, informing them that the Iraqis use nerve gas, and shows them a picture of an Iranian child who suffered from its effects. That fact dampens the soldiers' spirits a bit, but Kaczynski reminds them that killing Iraqis is not their mission. Their mission is to protect the valuable oil fields in Saudi Arabia, ensuring their security and preventing any potential threats.
I'm talking a lot of oil.
While heading to their camp, Kruger shows his sharp thinking skills, making it clear he's one of the smartest guys in the unit.
They got their fat hands in our bowl.
Mother make it like his beard. He's full of Who do you think gave
Saddam all his weapons.
We did. Politics, right?
We're here.
The 2nd platoon settles into their new camp, and while unpacking, Swofford takes out his girlfriend's photos, only for some of the guys to snatch it and start making crude remarks about how attractive she is.
All right, dream on, brothers, dream on.
I'm storing
that for later, man. I'm storing it for later. Hey.
Cortez manages to quiet everyone down by pulling out a photo of his pregnant wife.
Oh, no, please don't look me.
Sykes bursts into the tent and commands the soldiers to suit up in their chemical gear for a run.
Stop! Stop it right now! 55 seconds. You all dead.
Since you're all dead, I guess you wouldn't mind taking a little run in these suits.
Their daily routine kicks off with 6 formations a day, constant hydration, aimless patrols through the empty desert, and relentless dehydration. When given orders, they toss grenades into empty space, navigate imaginary minefields, fire at invisible targets, and then hydrate all over again. After going through this pointless routine, they head out to stand watch through the night. Crude oil prices nearly double, prompting President Bush to send in more troops, swelling their numbers to hundreds of thousands. 62 days have passed since the 2nd platoon arrived, and out of boredom, they begin arranging scorpion fights for money to entertain themselves. Swofford explains the key rules for avoiding boredom.
Suggested techniques for the Marine to use in the avoidance of boredom and loneliness. Masturbation.
Rereading of letters from unfaithful wives and girlfriends.
Cleaning your rifle. Further masturbation.
Arguing about religion and meaning of life.
A wall of shame is set up at the camp, where soldiers pin up photos of their girlfriends and wives who couldn't wait for them to return from service. And as he sees the growing collection, Swofford starts to worry about his own girlfriend. A Marine named Fowler walks up to him and humorously remarks that Christina's picture will soon end up on that wall. One day, journalists visit the camp, and Sykes reminds the soldiers what they can and can't say, prompting them to argue about free speech, only for Sykes to shut them down, saying they signed a contract and have no rights.
You are a Marine. There's no
Such thing as speech that is free.
You must pay for everything that you say.
Later, journalists interview the soldiers, asking if they're glad to be there and who's waiting for them back home.
Oh, yes, ma'am. I'm glad to be here. My uncle and my father served in Vietnam, so I'm proud to serve my country.
I love it out here. This is what I want. Back home, I'd be working some nowhere job. Nobody even know I was alive.
Very happy to be here. I love my country. I miss my parents. Hey, Mom. Hey, Dad. To defend my country and to serve my country. And
it was an opportunity for me to defend America. It is an honor to fight.
I'm 20 years old, and I was dumb enough to sign a contract. I can hear bombs already. I'm scared, yeah.
Swofford talks about his girlfriend Christina, saying she's the only person he truly cares about. Sykes boasts to the reporters about how comfortable the NBC suits are, and to prove his point, he has the soldiers wear them while playing a game of football.
It's 112 degrees.
Then I guess you won't be needing your parkers, will you?
Following their staff sergeant's orders, the soldiers begin playing despite the scorching heat. Worn out from Sykes' demonstration, the Marines rebel by stripping off their clothes and loudly cursing, forcing Sykes to quickly escort the reporters away.
Let's go check out the artillery and everything.
That night, as punishment for their behavior, Sykes makes the soldiers build a pyramid out of sandbags while laughing.
I don't hear you laughing now.
He announces a 2-day search mission in the rear and orders the soldiers to dismantle the pyramid. In the evening, Swofford receives his dog tags, but he's frustrated that they don't say "no preference." He also gets a letter from Christina, in which she mentions meeting a man named Carl, the night manager at the hotel where she works.
He's a night manager at her hotel, and he's a good listener?
Oh, man!
The soldiers mock him, claiming that Christina will soon be featured on the Wall of Shame, while Kruger reassures Swafford and advises him to call her before jumping to conclusions. For several days, Swafford is consumed by despair, unable to stop thinking about what the letter says. The next day, he calls Christina, and the conversation goes smoothly until he interrupts her, asking how well she knows Carl. Christina reassures him that Carl is just a friend, then pretends there's a connection problem and hangs up, leaving Swafford even more unsettled. To make matters worse, he starts having nightmares about his girlfriend.
You're making some pretty weird sounds, man.
One day, the Marines decide to watch a movie that Detman's wife sends him. It's supposed to be The Deer Hunter, but to their shock, the tape doesn't contain the film. Instead, it shows a video of Detman's wife cheating on him with their neighbor.
That's my wife.
The tape turns out to be his wife's way of getting back at him for his past affairs. Troy and Swafford step in to calm Detman down and quietly lead him away. Some of the Marines try to keep watching the video, but Troy steps in, shuts it off, and tells everyone to mind their own business.
That's his wife!
However, Swafford stays behind, and when Troy asks what he's doing, he simply says he wants to see what it's like to watch someone else clap his girlfriend. Swafford is nearly in tears, trying hard to keep it together. On day 122, the 2nd Platoon patrols the desert, with troop numbers now up to 390,000. Swafford can't stop thinking about Christina, and he feels like he's starting to lose his mind. That evening, he visits Corporal Harrigan, the smartest man alive, who serves as a signalman. He secretly buys a canister of alcohol for $40 and returns to his platoon for the Christmas Eve party. He then asks Fergus to take his watch for the evening in exchange for some cash. With plenty of beer and music, the soldiers let loose and have a great time, enjoying the rare chance to unwind. However, Fergus accidentally starts a fire while preparing dinner. The fire gets out of control and spreads to the flare crate, causing several flares to launch into the sky. The soldiers assume an attack has started, so they rush out of the tent with their weapons, only to discover what's actually going on.
Those are my sausages.
The next day, Swafford is punished in front of the other soldiers under the scorching sun, forced to drink gallons of water to flush the alcohol from his system.
So do you have all of that unauthorized beverage out of your system?
Sykes demotes Swafford to private for abandoning his post and assigns him the task of disposing of waste from the outdoor toilet. It's clear that he's no longer enjoying his duties and is completely disillusioned with his military service. The next day, Swafford and Fergus compete in assembling and disassembling rifles, while Swafford remains angry with him. Fergus tries to explain that it was an accident, but Swafford points his rifle at him and admits he wants to know what it feels like to kill a man. Swafford chambers around and points the rifle at Fergus's head, while Cortez walks out of the tent, saying he didn't see anything. The two engage in a tense moment, with Swafford yelling at him and demanding he recite the sniper code.
Without my rifle, I am nothing. Say it. Without my rifle, I am nothing. No.
This is my rifle. Shut the f*** up and repeat after me. This is my rifle. There are many like it. Without me, my rifle is nothing. Say it. Repeat after me. Repeat after me.
He then snaps and orders Fergus to shoot him.
No.
Realizing what he's just done, he breaks down in tears. While they're out on patrol in the desert, Troy scolds Swafford for his actions toward Fergus and orders him to apologize. Swafford starts to apologize, but he's suddenly cut off by the sound of gunfire. As indistinct silhouettes emerge on the horizon, the Marines line up in formation.
Looks like they want to talk.
Yeah, how you gonna do that?
Soon after, Swafford greets the locals in Arabic and moves forward to negotiate, but the conversation quickly turns tense. After telling him that someone shot their camels, they walk away.
What did he say?
Someone shot their camels, man.
On their way back, the platoon chats happily about what happened, with the soldiers surprised to learn that Swafford speaks Arabic. It turns out Fowler is the one who killed the camels and is proud of it, having done it for fun out of boredom with the monotonous routine. The men all stare at him with judgment, realizing it was because of him that they nearly killed 9 civilians for no reason. Fowler spots a civilian girl sitting in a passing car and begins to flaunt his intelligence to her.
Some of that Arabic. What's come suck my...
Sykes tells the 2nd platoon that they are now involved in Operation Desert Storm, as Hussein has officially declared Iraq's invasion of Kuwait, and casualties are anticipated. After learning this, the soldiers are eager for the opportunity to apply their skills in a real battle. Sykes informs the soldiers that the enemy is using toxic gas, so they are given atropine pills and syringes, and must sign a waiver as the pills have not yet been proven effective. Kruger refuses to take the pills and sign the waiver, worried about the possible side effects. Sykes explains the dangers of being poisoned by the gas and forces everyone to sign the waiver and take the pills. He ensures that the soldiers actually take the pills, but Kruger spits his out when Sykes isn't looking. Later, as they begin digging sleeping holes for themselves, American fighter jets fly overhead, leading Troy to argue that their efforts are pointless. He says that while they're stuck digging around, the real war is already moving miles ahead, all thanks to the Air Force. Swofford wants to clear the air with his spotter, knowing they're about to face real danger and can't be messing with each other's heads. Sykes suddenly appears, pulls Swofford aside, and reveals that Troy will be discharged from the Army as soon as they return to the U.S. for lying about his criminal record on his application. He instructs Swofford to watch over Troy and make sure he doesn't screw up. Swofford approaches Troy and says he could have shared the secret with him, but Troy tells him to stay out of it. That evening, the soldiers receive their mail, and Christina sends back the t-shirt Swofford gave her, along with a note that says,
"I'll always love you, Christina."
Swofford is disturbed by the package, but he shifts his focus to Troy, who needs support more than anyone else. And soon, the soldiers in the tent start to cheer him up. They forcefully grab Troy and brand him with the Marine sign.
You earned it, man.
The next day, the 2nd platoon comes under enemy artillery fire, and while everyone else takes cover in the shelter, Swofford stands firm, relishing the start of the long-awaited battle.
Are you all right?
I pissed myself.
Sykes orders him to fetch the batteries for the signalmen, so he runs through the artillery fire to deliver them, only to find that they're dead. Eventually, the Iraqis begin to retreat, and the Marines move forward towards them. In the distance, they spot U.S. fighter jets returning from their mission, and Fowler enthusiastically waves at them. However, 2 fighter jets suddenly circle back, mistaking the infantry soldiers for Iraqis, and start bombing their own troops, resulting in several soldiers getting wounded.
You thought we were Iraqis? Keep moving.
Later on, the 2nd platoon reaches a pile of wrecked, burned-out cars, blown up by the same U.S. fighter jets. As they walk through the scorched vehicles and smoking bodies, they realize a lot of the dead were actually civilians.
We're trying to get away.
Here, the platoon takes a break, and Swofford steps away to look at the charred bodies. Overwhelmed by the grim reality, he throws up in shock. The Iraqis set the oil wells on fire, and it starts raining thick oil. Sykes orders the men to dig in, but a sudden shift in the wind forces them to move positions. While digging their sleeping holes, the soldiers notice Fowler working on something a bit farther away.
Fowler,
What are you digging over there?
our orders are to dig over here.
Mind your f***ing business.
A few guys walk up to him and see that this idiot is messing around with a corpse. Swofford and Fowler nearly get into a fight, with Fowler explaining that he didn't kill the man, he was already dead when he found him. In the end, Troy and Swofford take the corpse away. A little while later, Sykes has an honest conversation with Swofford, telling him that he'll have Fowler clean toilets once they get back to the U.S. Noticing Swofford's depression, Sykes shares that his brother owns a drywall business and offered him a partnership. With a steady income, Sykes could live a happy life, spending evenings with his wife and taking his kids to school, but he loves his job too much to ever trade it. The next morning, Sykes tells Troy and Swofford that Colonel Kaczynski requests the 2 best snipers, and he recommends them for the job. The 2 are extremely excited and quickly get ready for their mission.
Get a kill, you.
Their mission is to eliminate 2 high-ranking Iraqi officers in the nearby control tower. After Colonel Kaczynski reminds them to get confirmation before taking the shot, the 2 of them proceed with their mission. Soon after, Swofford and Troy find an abandoned building with a perfect view of the control tower, where they patiently wait for the targets to show up. Luckily, the 2 officers eventually appear, prompting them to prepare their weapons for action. Troy contacts headquarters to request permission to take the shot, and once he gets the green light, he starts the countdown. However, just as Swofford is about to pull the trigger, Major Lincoln bursts in and interrupts, announcing that an airstrike is about to happen. Swofford explains that they have permission to take the shot, but Major Lincoln insists that an airstrike is necessary. Troy pleads with the Major to let them take the shot, arguing it won't make a difference, but the Major refuses, causing Troy to lose control in a fit of anger.
God damn it, he's dead anyway!
You're way out of line, Corporal.
What difference does it make?
It's my kill, then it's my kill!
It's a bracket! You know what we go down! It is a down!
Let go of me! Let go of me!
I'm starting later! Oh, man!
You stay, boys.
You hear me?
Unfortunately, they watch as another Air Force team carries out their mission, completely destroying the enemy control tower. Later that evening, Swofford and Troy talk about their plans for civilian life, with Troy mentioning he'll become a drug dealer.
All you want is in.
All I want is out.
Welcome to the suck.
When they check the time, they realize the pickup never shows up, signaling something goes wrong, so they hurriedly set off on foot to reach the camp. Out of nowhere, a noise echoes from afar, and thinking it's the Iraqis, they brace themselves to fire. As they climb a hill, they realize it's the U.S. military gathered around a fire, celebrating their victory.
Having a little party, a little overdressed.
Get your jungle camis, boys.
I'm burning all these. We don't need them anymore.
Kill the dog, man! History!
We never have to come back to these
Ever again!
Everyone is relieved that the war is finally over, but Swofford, frustrated, admits he never gets to fire his rifle.
You do it now.
Swofford shoots into the air, and soon, everyone starts firing shots without hesitation. A few days later, the United States celebrates the homecoming of their troops. At that moment, a Vietnam War veteran hops onto the platoon's bus, congratulating everyone on their victory and expressing his gratitude for the excellent job they do. The soldiers quickly slump, feeling the weight of praise they know they didn't earn through real combat like the veteran did during his deployment.
Every war is different. Every war is the same.
Swofford heads to Christina's place, but upon seeing Carl at the doorstep, he realizes that he is too late. We then see how his friends are adjusting to civilian life. Fowler enjoys himself in a bar. Kruger gives a marketing presentation. Cortez spends time in the park with his wife and 3 kids. Escobar arranges products at the supermarket, while Sykes finds himself back on the battlefield. A few months later, Fergus visits Swofford to deliver the sad news that Troy has passed away. The entire platoon shows up to pay their respects at his funeral. The movie concludes with the message that no matter what a man does after serving in the Marine Corps, whether he builds a house, loves a woman, or changes his son's diaper, he will always be a jarhead. Thank you so much for staying till the end. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell for future uploads.